Most commonly, influencers will be setting up a brand under, their own name or a variation of their own name. So, some considerations around that. Whether you actually want to launch your brand using your name as it is, or whether you're going to create a new brand name in order to launch the brand under that instead.
What do you think's best with that? Because I know that Jo Malone, she's sort of sold basically her name, and now she has Jojo Loves, I think. But there was some fallout on social media that Jo Malone had done something, and she got so much hate. So
it's a really good question, and it does throw up lots of interesting issues. We've seen it a lot, particularly in the cosmetics industry, with Bobbi Brown, Liz Earle, you've correctly referred to Jo Malone. Karen Millen also had issues with this. I think often to influencers it's very attractive to use their own name because obviously that's what they've been known by, that's the name that they've been operating under, and so that's where their goodwill ultimately sits. Where it becomes problematic is if you look to sell that name in the future, you are effectively then selling your name to a third party who will then be able to carry on that business and use your name however they want to use it. And that can be really difficult if you don't actually like what the brand is now proposing to the brand direction that they want to take it, and you really don't have any control over it because you've sold it. So that's definitely something to consider. However, there are benefits to it. I mentioned before that that's the name you're known by, so it seems sort of an obvious choice, but also initially it can feel less risk averse because you're already out there using it. There are also defences to trademark infringement if you're using your own name. So actually there is that benefit too, that it may be less risky initially to go ahead and use your own name rather than creating something new, which might expose you to potential infringement risks if you haven't properly searched before you go ahead and use.
Yeah.
But I think it's just really important that anyone wanting to do that does think about the future, where they might want to take their brand with, very often the issue is that you sell, for example, your clothing business, which takes your own name, and actually you then want to go off and run a cosmetics business, and obviously it may well be in the contract that in the purchase agreement that you had with the buyer of the brand that you can't then go on and use your name for a cosmetics business. So it's just being alive to those issues at the outset and making sure that you make an informed choice as to whether that's the right thing, right decision for your brand to use your own name or to create something new.